Good evening, everyone. May I have a reply in the comment section that I'm audible, visible, everything is fine, we are good to go, so that we can start the discussion without any further delay. So, today we have a session on RBI circulars for the month of May, and this is the most important month we need to cover, not only for RBI circulars but for the entire finance current affairs. So, today we will be discussing the RBI circulars, and tomorrow we will have a session on finance current affairs related to the May month. So before I start with the discussion, may I have a reply in the comment section? Are we good to go so that we can begin the discussion? My voice is clear. Obviously, it's not clear, but at least you can understand the voice, but at least we can continue in this manner so that you can cover the most important part for your RBI Grade B examination. Just give me a reply in the comment section. Okay. I have given you 4 hours to revise the entire May month finance, or I would say entire May month RBI circulars, and I'm pretty sure that most of you have gone through with the RBI circulars. And today, when we will be discussing the questions, you will be in a position to answer them pretty well. So let's get started without any further delay. Here we go with the first question of the evening. The first question is now on your screen. The question is related to RBI circulars with respect to decentralization of overseas investment references. Decentralization of overseas investment reference. So, what is this circular all about? And what all things we need to remember from this particular circular? I will be discussing it one by one. So, first, I have showcased the question to you. Now, from this question, I will be moving ahead. One second. Just give me a second, please. Okay. I hope now it's fine. Chalo. So let's talk about this particular circular. So RBI has recently decentralized the processing of overseas investment reference, where RBI shifted them from foreign exchange department at central office to the 7 decentralized, or I would say to the 7 designated regional offices. है क्या इसके बारे में बात करेंगे. ये चेंज क्यों किया गया? So this change has been done with very obvious reason because of the increase in volume and complexity of the overseas investment cases, as well as to reduce the bottleneck at the central office and to remove, or I would say to improve the turnaround time as well as the operational efficiency. तो पहले क्या था, अब क्या है, तो उसके बारे में अगर हम बात करें, सर अगर आपके पास कोई भी एक फॉरेन एक्सचेंज या मैं ये कहूँ कि देयर इज अ overseas investment where you want to invest outside India. And if you want to invest outside India, earlier your request was directly routed to the central office of RBI, and to be very precise, the foreign exchange department at the central office. This was entertained. But now overseas investment will be routed to 7 different regional offices, just to decrease the dependency on one. Now, overseas investment means the investment made by a person residing in India in a foreign country. For example, you want to acquire shares abroad, or you want to set up wholly owned subsidiary abroad, or you want to establish joint venture abroad. It is regulated under the FEMA Act 1999 as well as RBI Overseas Investment Master Direction. Now, the point is, what is reference? The term which is mentioned over here. So, reference is basically a formal request which is shared by authorized dealer to RBI for regulatory clarification, approval in case of exceptional cases, as well as for the transactions outside the standard limit. So, if you are doing any transaction outside the standard limit, then in that particular case, authorized dealer will seek the approval from RBI. But now, rather seeking the approval from the central office, this approval will be taken up from the 7 regional offices which have been designated. As well as if there is any approval required in case of exceptional cases or for the regulatory classification, this has been done. Now, this request will be raised by the authorized dealer through a portal which we all know about, that is Pravaha portal. So Pravaha portal, it stands for Platform for Regulatory Application, Validation and Authorization. If somebody asks you, can you name these 7 regional offices? I can try. We have Ahmedabad, then we have Bengaluru, we have Mumbai, Kolkata. Along with this, we have New Delhi, Hyderabad, and one is Chennai. भैया 4 तो हो गए हमारे मेट्रो सिटी के ऑफिसेस. उसके अलावा बेंगलुरु as well as Hyderabad, Bengaluru, Hyderabad, and Ahmedabad, which makes a total of 7. Which makes it a total of 7 with their particular code as well. This is applicable from 1st of April 2026, and the routing mechanism will depend on UIN prefix. UIN prefix basically means the unique identification number will have a prefix. For example, Ahmedabad ke liye prefix will be AH, so that it will be routed accordingly. That is a point. ठीक है, अब इस क्वेश्चन को सॉल्व करते हैं. Overseas investment refers to the investment made by a resident Indian in a foreign entity. That is correct. The procedural reform became effective from 1st April. Correct. Routing of application to RBI offices is based on geographical location of the investing company. Is it based on geographical location of the investing company? Then my answer is no. My answer is no. Routing depends on the prefix, not on the geographical location of the company. So whatever is the prefix, accordingly it will be routed. So this is wrong. Pravaha portal stands for Platform for Regulatory Application, Validation and Authorization. There is no change in overseas investment limits or FEMA permissions under the new framework. That is correct. कोई इन्वेस्टमेंट लिमिट्स में चेंज नहीं हुआ. सो कीपिंग दैट इन माइंड, बी ऑप्शन इज एब्सोल्युटली द करेक्ट आंसर. ठीक है जी, क्लियर हो गया पॉइंट? Is it clear now? Is it clear? Just give me yes sir so that I can move ahead. Okay, now let's move on to the next question. The next question says, consider the following statement with respect to RBI's revised investment fluctuation reserves. I hope you all know that the investment done by banks, these investments, they are prone to fluctuations. For example, the market price of government security, or maybe the foreign currency asset, or maybe any other investment done by a bank, they are prone to fluctuation. Now, if they are prone to fluctuation, in that particular case, earlier bank was asked to maintain a reserve, and this reserve was maintained under tier 2 capital, and this reserve was termed as investment fluctuation reserve, where we maintain the reserve or we keep a certain amount as a reserve to counter the investment fluctuation issues. But now recently RBI has revised these norms, and while revising these norms, RBI has made it very clear that from some of the banks, IFR will be deleted. For some of the banks, IFR will be deleted, and for some of the bank, the limits will be revised. Now the question is, sir, it is discontinued. It is discontinued for which all banks? Sir, it is discontinued for scheduled commercial banks as well as local area banks, and the existing IFR the existing IFR of these banks will be transferred either to the statutory reserve, or can be in general reserve, or can be in profit and loss reserves. You can keep either in one of them, or you can distribute among them. That is allowed. उसमें कोई आरबीआई को प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, आरबीआई को उसमें कोई इशू नहीं है. ठीक है जी. अगला पॉइंट क्या कहता है? अगला पॉइंट कहता है फॉर द स्मॉल फाइनेंस बैंक्स as well as for payment banks as well as for RRBs, this limit is revised. Now the revised limit is 2% of AFS plus 2% of AFS plus FVTPL. आई होप आपको ये फुल फॉर्म याद होगी, TPL, और एक आपको याद होगा FTH. अगर याद हो तो बहुत बढ़िया, नहीं तो मैं भी बताऊंगा. उसके बाद अगर हम बात करें FTH नहीं, HTF, सॉरी. उसके बाद अगर हम बात करें फॉर अर्बन कोऑपरेटिव बैंक्स, इट इज 5% ऑफ AFS प्लस HTF, सॉरी HFT, held for trade. और अर्बन रूरल कोऑपरेटिव बैंक्स के लिए दिस लिमिट इज अगेन 5%, बट दिस इज 5% ऑफ करंट कैटेगरी इन्वेस्टमेंट्स. ठीक है. अब इसमें दो तीन चीजें हैं जो हमें समझनी है. सबसे पहली चीज, why this rule has been introduced. So this rule has been introduced with a logical reason कि भैया already if you are maintaining a reserve, there is no need to maintain extra reserves. But in these banks, there is still a risk on these banks because they are more volatile. So RBI said that you will be keeping a reserve, but that will be a little low. ठीक है जी. अब इसमें पॉइंट ये आता है कि सर what do you understand by the term AFS plus FVTPL as well as HFT? Anybody can give me the full form of all these terms. Try typing the same in the comment section. If I give you the answer, sir, AFS basically stands for what? AFS basically stands for what, sir? It stands for investment portfolio which is available for sale, as well as FVTPL stands for fair value through profit and loss. And along with that, if I talk about HTF, it basically stands for held for trade. HFT basically stands for held for trade. So all these instruments, that is the first one, are available for sale. Whatever asset is available for sale, fair value through profit and loss, and held for trade, all these securities, against all these securities, these reserves are need to be maintained in case of the given category banks. But for these category banks, there is no need to maintain these reserves. अब अगला क्वेश्चन आता है कि सर when this norm is going to be implemented, any idea? So this norm has been implemented, or this amendment has been done on 18th of May 2026 and it was effective immediately. अब क्वेश्चन क्या है? Investment fluctuation reserve forms a part of tier 2 capital. True. RBI has discontinued IFR requirement for scheduled commercial banks and local area banks. True. Urban cooperative banks are required to maintain IFR equals to 2% of their held for trade and available for sale investment. True. Under the revised framework, IFR compliance is assessed on the balance sheet date rather than continuously throughout the year. Is this point correct? Any idea? Anybody? Then okay, no idea. मैं बताता हूँ. So पहली बात तो ये आपका ये जो third point है, that is wrong because it is not 2%, it is 5% for the urban cooperative banks. Rural cooperative banks के लिए भी 5% है. 2% is for small finance banks, payment banks as well as RRBs. Under the revised framework, IFR compliance is assessed on the balance sheet basis. Yes, there is no continuous assessment. You have to maintain it as of 31st March. उस दिन मेंटेन करो, डेटा शेयर करो, उसके बाद फिर अगले साल तक 31 मार्च तक मेंटेन कर लेना. There is no need to maintain on regular basis. The revised framework seeks to harmonize IFR requirement across regulated entities. That is correct. So keeping that in mind, 1, 2, 4 and 5 are correct, but the third statement is wrong. I hope it is clear. Moving on to the next question. Consider the following statement with respect to RBI's proposed Basel III disclosure framework. So RBI has come up with certain Basel III related disclosure framework, and what are these announcements which have been done by RBI? So we all know that Basel III framework has introduced capital. I'll not say introduced. Basel III framework includes capital adequacy, as well as it has introduced liquidity position like liquidity coverage ratio, leverage level, which is called as leverage ratio, as well as uh, net stable fund ratio. These are the newly introduced terms under Basel III. So Basel III emphasizes that market should be able to assess the financial strength of the bank. So RBI and Basel III has requested the central banks to ask their banks to disclose their data, and now this has been asked by RBI to its scheduled commercial banks. So RBI has come up with major requirements. The first one is quarterly disclosure, where banks they must publish disclosure every quarter in a standardized format. The disclosure will include common equity tier 1 ratio, it will include total capital ratio, it will include risk weighted asset, it will include leverage ratio, as well as it will include liquidity coverage ratio. Liquidity coverage ratio. Liquidity coverage ratio. Along with this, Along with this, every bank must create separate 3 sections on its website containing first one, Pillar 3 disclosure, historical disclosures, as well as regulatory information. RBI has also come up with a statement that there should be bank must retain at least 3 previous disclosure reports, and RBI should bank should preserve them for minimum 10 years. So retain at least 3 previous disclosure reports and preserve them for at least 10 years. Publication timelines, if we say Pillar 3 disclosure must be released along with the quarterly financial result. If results are unavailable, disclosure may be published as soon as practicable, as soon as implementable. ठीक है जी, क्लियर हो गई बात? ये सारे पॉइंट्स क्लियर है? If all the points are clear, give me yes sir, so that let's discuss the question. What does the question says? The question says bank will be required to disclose tier 1 capital ratio, common equity tier 1 ratio, leverage ratio, liquidity coverage ratio, risk weighted asset ratio on quarterly basis. That is correct. Pillar 3 disclosures are intended to strengthen the market discipline through enhanced transparency. That is correct, क्योंकि RBI Basel 3 में 3 pillars हैं और third pillar was related to market discipline only, which asked the banks to disclose their data to the public. Bank may omit material information from disclosure without providing any jurisdiction. No, sir, you cannot omit anything. Bank must maintain a dedicated regulatory disclosure section on their website. That is correct. तो website पे 3 चीजें होनी चाहिए. वो 3 चीजें कौन-कौन सी हैं? I just told you. So the 3 things must include Pillar 3 disclosures, historical disclosures, as well as regulatory information. उसके बाद the proposed framework is expected to become effective from quarter ending from 31st of September 2025. That is correct. और यहाँ पे आपको एक चीज और याद रखनी है. क्या वो पॉइंट ये है that when we talk about these disclosures, RBI has asked the bank to maintain or to retain at least 3 previous disclosure reports, as well as preserve them for minimum of 10 years. Preserve them for minimum of 10 years. No, Ishani. No, it's not enough. It's not enough. It's not enough. उसमें उसके लिए आपको पूरी समरी पढ़नी ही पड़ेगी, which is available in your weekly PDFs. I hope you all have gone through with that. ठीक है जी? तो इसका आंसर बनेगा B option. Moving on to the fourth question. Consider the following statement regarding RBI's Amendment Direction 2026 on governance of cooperative banks. So we all know that RBI has come up with the announcement that in case of cooperative banks, the directors of cooperative banks can continue as a director for 10 years, and after 10 years they need to have 3 years of cooling period, and after that only they will be reappointed. During their tenure, if they if they've taken a break and that break is less than 3 years, मान लो यहाँ पे 7 years they have worked as a director, then from after 3 years or before 3 years, if they return back, then it will start from 7 year onwards. That means you will be continuing for 3 more years to complete the set limit of 10 years. ठीक है, इससे पहले 8 साल की लिमिट थी जिसे आरबीआई ने ऑलरेडी बढ़ा के 10 साल कर दिया। तो ये कुछ चेंजेस हुए, उन चेंजेस को अगर हम पढ़ें, the director completing 10 continuous year on the board of the same cooperative bank must undergo a cooling period. That is correct. Cooling off period prescribed by RBI as 3 years. Correct. During the cooling off period, the individual may continue to serve the same bank in an advisory role. No sir, that is not allowed. आप इस बैंक में या तो आप सिर्फ कस्टमर बन के रहेंगे या फिर एज अ नॉमिनल मेंबर, नथिंग मोर देन दैट। द अमेंडमेंट इज लिंक्ड टू सेक्शन 10 of RBI Act 1934. That is correct. The Banking Regulation Act increased the maximum continuous tenure from 8 to 10 years. That is also correct. So keeping that in mind, only the third statement is wrong. Rest all the statements are correct. 1, 2, 4, 5 are the correct answers. ठीक है जी, आगे बढ़े, अगला क्वेश्चन देखो। The next question is now on your screen. The question says, consider the following statement regarding RBI's draft pillar, RBI's draft Basel 3 disclosure। तो Basel 3 disclosure पे एक और question है, try to answer this. Pillar 3 of Basel 3 seeks to promote market discipline through enhanced disclosures. Correct. Proposed norms will apply only to listed commercial banks. No sir, not only to listed commercial banks. ऐसी तो कोई नॉर्म नहीं बताई थी अनाउंसमेंट के समय कि सिर्फ और सिर्फ ये लिस्टेड कमर्शियल बैंक्स पे अप्लाई होगा। दैट इज नॉट अ केस। इन दिस पर्टिकुलर केस यू शुड रिमेंबर that the announcement which has been given, I would say the suggestion or the orders which have been given by RBI in that particular context, it will be applicable on all the commercial banks. This is not correct. Banks are required to establish board approved pillar 3 disclosure policy. That is correct. बनानी पड़ेगी। One or more whole time directors must provide written certification regarding the compliance with disclosure requirement. बिल्कुल ठीक है सर, ये पॉइंट काफी इंपॉर्टेंट है कि एक रिटन पेपर साइंड होगा बाय वन और मोर होल टाइम डायरेक्टर्स, जिससे अप्रूवल होगा, जिससे ये हम कहेंगे इट्स अ सेल्फ अटेस्टेशन कि भैया जो भी हमने दिया दैट इज एज पर द डिस्क्लोजर नॉर्म्स। इफ द सर्टेन information is not disclosed due to confidentiality concerns, bank must explain the reasons for such non disclosure। ये भी अलाउड है कि अगर आप कोई इंफॉर्मेशन नहीं शेयर करते उस केस में यू हैव टू कम अप विद अ डिस्क्लोजर इन राइटिंग कि भैया आपने क्यों नहीं दिया, क्या रीजन है, क्या उसके पीछे लॉजिक था, वो सारी चीजें आपको आरबीआई को देनी पड़ेगी। आरबीआई उसे एक्सेप्ट करेगा, देन इट्स फाइन, अदरवाइज यू कैन बी चैलेंज एज अ बैंक। ठीक है जी, क्लियर हो गया पॉइंट, समझ आ गया। ड्राफ्ट से क्वेश्चन आने के चांसेस कम है, लेकिन ये ड्राफ्ट इंपॉर्टेंट है, इसलिए मैंने इसमें एक नहीं 2 क्वेश्चंस बना दिए। आई होप इट इज क्लियर। मूविंग ऑन टू द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन, consider the following statement regarding RBI's amendment on inclusion of quarterly profits in common equity tier 1 capital. In common equity tier 1 capital, it has been clearly mentioned that the quarterly profit will be included, and after including that, then only we will calculate the net owned fund, then only we will calculate the CAR requirements and whatnot. But there is a point that the profit which is going to be included, that is not the profit which actually bank has earned. That is not the profit which actually bank has earned. Rather, it is calculated in this manner. Eligible profit for that quarter is equals to net profit of that quarter minus 1/4 into average dividend distributed in last 3 years into T, that is the number of quarter, that means third quarter, first quarter, second quarter, and according to this the calculation will be done. This is not only applicable on banks, this is applicable for NBFCs as well, for commercial banks as well, as per the announcement done by RBI in the recent times. Now on the basis of this, let's try to answer the question. RBI has removed the condition that increment NPA provision should not deviate by more than 25% from 4-quarter average for the inclusion of quarterly profits in the capital, in the common equity tier 1 capital. Is it correct? Is it correct? This is absolutely correct. पहले क्या था सर? पहले there was a condition. Condition क्या थी कि if your NPA provision has deviated by 25%, then in that particular case you will not be allowed to include that profit, that means the quarterly profit, into your common equity tier 1 capital. But now this has been removed. This is correct. The amendment applies to commercial banks, small finance banks. Correct. Eligible profit for common equity tier 1 capital inclusion is calculated after adjusting for a portion of average dividend payout. That is correct. Quarterly profit can be included even if quarterly financial statements are neither audited. No sir, this is wrong. बिना ऑडिट के nothing can be included. That should be audited, then only it will be included. Cumulative net losses up to the end of a quarter must be deducted. This is correct. तो जो भी आपके बैंक का cumulative loss है up till that particular quarter, that has to be deducted from common equity tier 1 capital while making the calculation for net owned fund, for capital adequacy ratio and whatnot. So keeping that in mind, answer to this particular question will be 1, 2, 3 and 5. That is B option is the correct answer. अरे भाई समझ आ रहा है? समझ आ रहा है? मजा आ रहा है? इसलिए बोला था रिवाइज करके आना, और जो लोग रिवाइज करके आए होंगे उनके सामने वो पूरी की पूरी पीडीएफ फ्लोट कर रही होगी. दे विल बी in a position to identify, they will be in a position to visualize the same PDF which they have revised few hours back. Yes or no? Danaji, ठीक. Moving on to the next one. The next point we have is on the next question. We have is again a draft which is very important. Prudential norms on specified non-financial asset. Prudential norms on specified non-financial asset. Now the question is, what is this norm all about? What is this norm all about? So please pay attention and try to understand this point. So RBI has issued a draft where RBI is talking about specified non-financial asset. Now the question is, what is the specified non-financial asset? Sir, any immovable property, land or building, which is acquired by a lender from a defaulting borrower in full or partial settlement of debt is known as specified non-financial asset. Specified non-financial asset. When does this asset becomes SNFA? Sir, an asset becomes SNFA only when ownership or title is legally transferred to the lender, or the lender gains the legal right to deal with the property independently. So if I say the ownership or title is legally transferred to the lender, or the lender gains the legal right to deal with the property independently, not only the possession. I'm not saying only the possession. Possession is also a thing, but ownership transfer, legal gain transfer, then in that case it becomes SNFA. Why this framework was needed? So banks and NBFCs are financial intermediaries. They are not expected to hold land, building or real estate for long period. So without clear rules, asset values may be overstated. Recovery performance may appear better than the reality. An institution may hold properties indefinitely. So keeping this in mind, this direction has been applicable on commercial bank, small finance bank, local area bank, regional rural bank, urban cooperative bank, state cooperative bank, central cooperative bank, all India financial institutes, NBFCs, housing finance companies. Now, when can a lender acquire SNFA? Sir, SNFA can be acquired only when step 1 is exposure has already become an NPA. Step 2 is other recovery options are exhausted. And step 3 is acquisition becomes the last resort recovery mechanism. Then only this acquiring will be done by the bank. Now, valuation of SNFA will be done on what basis? Sir, it will be done on the basis of net value, I would say net book value, net book value, or it is done on the basis of the DSV, that is distress sale value. Distress sale value. अब इन दोनों में से कौन सा लेंगे? दोनों में से लेंगे जो कि ज्यादा या कम है। इन दोनों में से जो भी क्या होगा, कम होगा, है ना, या ज्यादा होगा? बताओ जरा सोच के। अब इसमें क्या है कि सर अगर मैं SNFA वैल्यू की बात करूं तो वी हैव टू टेक द लोअर ऑफ, वी हैव टू टेक ईदर द लोअर ऑफ NBV और DSV। अगर मैं बात करूं revaluation rules की, तो after acquisition it is mandatory that bank will revaluate its asset after every 2 years. If the value falls, loss will be recognized immediately in the profit and loss statement. If value rises, gain will not be immediately included in the profit and loss statement. Please make this point very clear. Now, what will be the treatment of interest and income unrealized? So in that case, unrealized interest, that is interest which is added in the books but not actually received, it cannot be recognized as income. So previously it was recognized as income, but now it won't be recognized as income as per the latest announcement done. On the other side, the maintenance of these assets like security, repair, maintenance will be kept by the bank, will be done by the bank, and bank will be making the expense through its profit and loss statement. Disposal की अगर मैं बात करूं, bank can dispose of this particular asset through the public auction, which is followed as per SARFAESI Act 2002. RBI want lender to dispose of this SNFA as quick as possible. Otherwise, after 7 years, max 7 years, after 7 years, it will be declared as bank's asset. Or if its value becomes zero, again it will be declared as bank's asset. These are some of the points which you need to remember. अब इसके बेसिस पे क्वेश्चन क्या है? A specified non-financial asset refers to an immovable property acquired by a lender from borrower in settlement of debt. That is correct. SNFA must be initially recorded at higher, no sir, at lower of net book value और डिस्ट्रेस सेल वैल्यू. डिस्ट्रेस सेल वैल्यू का मतलब भैया जब आप मार्केट में बेचने जाओगे तो जिस प्राइस पे यू आर रेडी टू थ्रो इन द मार्केट, और या आप ये कहो कि अगर आई एम थ्रोइंग द प्रॉपर्टी इन द मार्केट, द बेयर मिनिमम प्राइस विच आई कैन रिसीव, the bare minimum price which I can receive is basically known as, it is basically known as distress sale value. और net book value का क्या मतलब होता है सर? Net book value of asset, net book value of asset is basically the value, it is basically the carrying value as recorded on a company's balance sheet. So it represents the original purchase cost or maybe the original value at which it was kept as a collateral minus the accumulated depreciation, amortization or any other changes which have been done. ठीक है जी, क्लियर हो गई बात? समझ आ गया पॉइंट? If it is clear, just give me yes sir. If it is clear, just give me yes sir. अब अगर मैं इसको बात करूं नेट वैल्यू, net book value की, sir, it is basically for a collateral value where we have the formula, and the formula it basically talks about the loan value जिसके अगेंस्ट आपने या जितना आपने लोन दिया था अगेंस्ट दिस प्रॉपर्टी माइनस द प्रोविजनिंग व्हिच यू हैव डन, माइनस द प्रोविजनिंग व्हिच यू हैव डन. ठीक है जी, क्लियर हो गया? लेट्स ट्राई टू सॉल्व द क्वेश्चन. The distress sale value must be assessed by at least 2 independent external valuers. ये बिल्कुल सही है सर. 2 external valuers कैलकुलेट करेंगे तब उस distress value को माना जाएगा. RBI proposes that SNFA should generally be disposed of through public auction. That is true. A lender may freely sell SNFA back to the original borrower if it maximizes recovery value. A lender may freely sell an SNFA बैक टू द ओरिजिनल बोरोअर? नहीं सर, ओरिजिनल बोरोअर को नहीं दे सकते, आप मार्केट में उसे ऑक्शन करोगे और ऑक्शन में जो भी खरीदे खरीदे, लेकिन यू कैन नॉट रिटर्न इट बैक टू द ओरिजिनल बोरोअर, दैट इज नॉट अलाउड, दैट इज नॉट अलाउड। ठीक है जी। ओरिजिनल बोरोअर छोड़ो, इवन द सेल टू द रिलेटेड पार्टी इज आल्सो प्रोहिबिटेड अंडर दिस अनाउंसमेंट व्हिच हैज बीन डन। चलो, मूविंग ऑन टू द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन, अगला क्वेश्चन देखते हैं क्या है। The next question says, consider the following statement regarding RBI direction on disbursement of government pension by agency banks. First of all, मुझे ये बताओ कि अगर कोई बैंक है which is operating as an agent or as an agency bank और वो गवर्नमेंट के लिए पेंशन डिस्ट्रीब्यूट करता है, so what is the commission they receive for per pension transaction and how many transactions they can perform in a year? How many maximum transactions they can perform in a year? First give me this answer, उसके बाद मैं आगे बढ़ूंगा, क्योंकि ये जो मैंने आंसर आपसे पूछा, this has been already discussed with you n number of times. Now I'm looking forward for the answer for this given question. And if you don't know, type N. If you don't know, I want you all to type N. N means no. So 14 transactions per year and 80 rupees for per pension transaction is absolutely correct. That is absolutely correct. Now let's come back to the question. अब question क्या है sir? It is basically RBI has recently issued the directions on the disbursement of government pension by agency banks. First is, this initiative has been taken to ensure timely pension payments, as well as to ensure faster credit of arrears and dearness reliefs, as well as better treatment of senior citizens, efficient grievance redressal, and improved customer services. These directions, they have recognized sensitive customer group like senior citizen, sick sick pensioners, disabled pensioners, as well as family pensioners. This is going to be applicable on all the banks which can act as an agency bank, which include public sector bank, private bank, foreign public sector bank, private bank, payment bank, as well as we have small finance bank. So agency banks, we all know that bank appointed by RBI to conduct government banking business, including pension disbursement. There is a term which has been introduced under the same, that is Jeevan Praman, a biometric based digital life certificate system using the Aadhaar authentication. So it allows pensioner to submit life certificates electronically rather than reaching to the bank personally. Pension payment rules have been allowed, that is pension credit. Pension must be credited according to the instructions of the pensions sanctioning authority. Bank cannot alter the schedule prescribed by pension sanctioning authority. DNS and pension revision, when government issues orders regarding DNS relief, pension revision or arrears, bank must act immediately, monitor the government communication, and do not wait for the RBI instruction to provide or to distribute these excess, or I would say the arrears or the revision or the DNS relief. Excess pension, if it is paid by bank by mistake, if the excess pension is paid by the bank and the mistake is done by the bank, so bank must bear the responsibility and repay the amount first to the government and then recover it from the customer. But if government made the error, bank should coordinate quickly with the concerned government department and help the government to recover the funds. ठीक है जी. Special facility for old, sick and disabled pensioners. So category 1 is pensioner can give thumb and even their toe impression. Requirement is 2 independent witness, 1 must be responsible bank official. Category 2 is pensioner cannot even provide thumb impression, then they should mark on withdrawal form or check. 2 independent witnesses again, and 1 must be responsible bank official, which is need to be present at that particular moment. Authorized representative, the pensioner may nominate another person to withdraw pension on their behalf. We call it as authorized representative, which may be asked in the examination. Now, if I talk about the reimbursement system, central government pension claims submitted to the central account section Nagpur. State government pension claims are submitted to the government banking division of RBI's regional office. So RBI has introduced a single window system, that is to simplify the reimbursement claims as well as speed up the settlement for the banks. Life certificate rules have been announced where every pensioner must submit a life certificate. Physical submission, bank must provide signed acknowledgement, and digital submission, bank must provide digital acknowledgement in that case. There was a committee set up. The name of the committee was Prabhakar Rao Committee, as the head of the committee was Prabhakar Rao. So auditors, they must use a proper checklist while inspecting pension branches. Customer service review should also be taken. Internal audit reviews, or I would say internal audit report, must comment on quality of service, handling of pensioners, as well as complaint resolution. These all things have to be done. Now, if I talk about nodal officers, each bank, they must appoint 1 to 2 nodal officers at regional level, or maybe zonal level. Responsibilities will be monitor complaints, resolve grievances, conduct reviews. That is going to be done. General manager or chief general manager must review the pension grievance every month. That is also allowed, or that is also announced by RBI. Additional grievance mechanism, bank must provide pension adalat like meetings, regular meetings with pensioners, toll free helpline number to handle, which will be handled by the trained staff for queries, complaints, and resolution support related to the pension. I use the word family pension. Family pension basically means if the spouse is eligible for family pension, then there is no need to open a new account. Existing joint account can continue. What is the purpose? The purpose is very simple है, reduce inconvenience after pensioner's death. Then there is a term that is pension payment order number. So pension payment order number in the passbook is need to be recorded by the bank. So pension payment order number in pension books are very important because it make it easier transfer of pension accounts as well as easier family pension processing, and it will be useful if original PPO is lost. Pension slip is issued. So bank must issue the pension slip when pension starts or pension amount changes. उसके अलावा कोई pension slip issue करने की जरूरत नहीं है. If there is any delay due to the bank fault, compensation will be given, and that compensation will be 8% per annum. Interest will be given on the pension amount. ठीक. अब इसके बेसिस पे अगर मैं क्वेश्चन को सॉल्व करूं, agency banks are the banks appointed by RBI to conduct government banking businesses, including pension businesses or pension payments. True. Bank must wait for separate RBI instruction. No, sir, there's no need to wait for separate RBI instruction. That is not required. Jeevan Praman is a biometric based digital life certificate system for the pensioners. Correct. Bank must provide automatic compensation at 8% per annum in case of a delay. That is correct. A spouse eligible for family pension may continue to receive the pension in the existing account. There is no need to open a new account. That is correct. So answer to this particular question is B option 1, 3, 4 and 5. Is it clear? Is it clear, everybody? Is it clear? I hope you guys were able to answer the question. अरे भाई मजा आ रहा है? Just tell me in the comment section. I hope you guys are enjoying. आज अगर मैंने आपको रिवीजन करके आने के लिए बोला, don't you feel that confidence that yes, you are in a position to answer the question? Don't you feel that? Don't you feel that? Because you have revised the entire part, that is the reason you are in a position to answer all the questions in the class itself. जो कि पहले आपको इतने दिन से वो कॉन्फिडेंस नहीं आ रहा था, इसलिए आई डिलेड माई क्लास फॉर 2 hours. इवन आई वॉज वेटिंग फॉर यू ऑल. पर ठीक है, मुझे लगा कि दैट इज इम्पॉर्टेंट. आई थॉट दैट इज इम्पॉर्टेंट. Shall we move ahead? बढ़िया. लगना भी नहीं चाहिए, अब एग्जामिनेशन सिर पे है. अब जब सुना सुना लगेगा तो रातों की नींद भी उड़ जाएगी. चलो, क्वार्टरली अच्छा क्या है, आरबीआई अमेंडमेंट डायरेक्शंस 2026 फेमा Authorized Person Regulation 2026. It's an important direction which has been introduced by RBI. What does this direction say? If I start one by one, Part A will be capital adequacy amendment requirements. What is it? So the amendment applies to commercial banks, small finance bank, as well as payment banks. Objective is basically to strengthen the quality of capital capital recognition under common equity tier 1 as well as capital to risk weighted asset ratio. So what is it? पहला तो वही पार्ट जो हम ऑलरेडी पढ़ चुके हैं, that is the inclusion of quarterly profit that has been announced. Second is FEMA authorized person provides a consolidated framework for current account transactions, foreign exchange remittance, liberalized remittance scheme transactions, duties of authorized dealers. So liberalized remittance scheme where the annual limit is $250,000 per financial year per resident per individual, or I would say per resident individual is allowed, which include private visit abroad, gifts, donations, employment abroad, immigration, maintenance of relatives abroad, business travel, medical treatment, education abroad, and whatnot. Beyond this limit, we need RBI approval, otherwise RBI approval is not required. Now, what is the foreign currency cash limit? So most countries, if you are visiting, then you can carry $3,000 per visit. Iraq and Libya, it can be $5,000 per visit. For Iran, Russia, and CIS countries, there is full entitlement. For Hajj and Umrah purpose, there will be increased value allowed. We call it as full permissible entitlement will be allowed. If you come back and you have some unused foreign currency with you, the resident individual may surrender the unused foreign currency within 180 days of purchase, receipt, or return from travel. And you can retain up to $2,000 in currency notes, or maybe in traveler check, or maybe in the form of coins. Now, if I talk about international credit card, what all points have been introduced? The international credit card ke case mein, it has been said that you can expense abroad, you can do the online purchase of permitted goods or services through international credit card, but you cannot purchase lottery ticket, you cannot sweep stakes, banned magazines, callback services cannot be done. Nepal and Bhutan, in case of Nepal and Bhutan, international credit card usage is not permitted. Moving on to the next, international debit card. So it is permitted for cash withdrawal abroad. It is permitted for merchant payments abroad. But the limits, it will depend on the Foreign Exchange Management Act 1999. If you have a PPI, prepaid payment instrument, so store value or smart card, it is permitted for business visits. It is permitted for private visits abroad. It can be used for merchant payments, ATM withdrawals, and if there is any unused prepaid balance, it can be redeemed. It can be redeemed, and the pipeline balance allowed is $100. Pipeline balance allowed is $100. If I talk about the remittance by non-individual, that is donation. So donation allowed up to 1% of forex earning during the last 3 financial years, or up to $5 million, whichever is low. I repeat, donation allowed up to lower of 1% of the foreign exchange earnings during the last 3 financial year, or $5 million, not above, not more than that. This is out of the two, whichever is lower. Agent commission is RBI approval required if the commission exceeds higher of, agar commission is more than 25,000 US dollars per transaction or 5% of inward remittance. दोनों में से कोई भी कंडीशन का अगर हायर होगा, then only RBI involvement is there, RBI approval is required. Consultation services में approval required if infrastructure projects and these projects exceeds $10 million per project, and other projects if they exceed $1 million per project, then in that particular case consultation services के लिए approval is required. If you are receiving more than $10 million per project or more than $1 million per project, 10 is for infrastructure projects. Pre-incorporation expense, that means approval required beyond, if the approval is required beyond, then higher of 5% of investment brought into India or $100,000. अगर आपकी इन्वेस्टमेंट जो इंडिया में आई है उसका 5% या फिर $100,000, इन दोनों में से जो भी हायर होगा that is a point where the approval is required. Above this, documentation क्या required है? Documentation के case में you need a declaration from the applicant, you need supporting documents, as well as you need to do the KYC verification. एक फॉर्म A2 इन्होंने रेफर किया था. They say Form A2 is mandatory for non-import remittance. Form A2 is mandatory for intermediary trade transaction, and it can be physical or digital, and it should be retained. Its retention period should be 1 year for internal audit review. ठीक है जी, क्लियर हो गई बात. So these are some of the points which you need to remember. Now let's try to solve the question. Question क्या कहता है? Quarterly profits may be included in common equity tier 1 capital only if financial statements are audited. This is correct. Eligible profit for common equity tier 1 capital inclusion is adjusted using average dividend payout during the previous 3 financial years. That is correct. Under the liberalized scheme, a resident can remit $250,000. Foreign currency notes up to $2,000 may be retained by returning traveler. Yes, up to 180 days. अगर up to 180 days you have to exchange. अगर आप उससे ज्यादा होल्ड कर रहे हैं, that should be up to $2,000. RBI approval is required for consultancy remittance exceeding $10 million per infrastructure project or $1 million per other project, as well as RBI involvement is there if the commission is more than 25,000 or 5% of inward remittance. Pre-incorporation expense approval is required above 5% of investment or above $100,000, whichever is high. ठीक है जी, क्लियर हो गई बात, समझ आ गया पॉइंट. आई होप द एंटायर स्टोरी इज क्लियर. गिव मी यस सर, सो दैट आई कैन मूव टू द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. अगला क्वेश्चन देखते हैं क्या कहता है. कंसिडर द फॉलोइंग स्टेटमेंट विद रिस्पेक्ट टू द मास्टर डायरेक्शन ऑन मनी चेंजिंग एक्टिविटीज. इट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. इसमें कुछ बड़े बड़े चेंजेस भी किए गए. लेट्स ट्राई टू डिकोड ऑल दीज चेंजेस. So if I talk about these changes, sir, it is basically related to authorized dealer category 1, category 2, category 3, authorized dealer category 1, 2, 3, and full-fledged currency exchanger. No person can conduct money changing business without RBI authentication. What is the minimum net owned fund? So minimum net owned fund is 10 lakh rupees in case of franchise, but franchise will exit for next 2 years only. After 2 years, it has to be wind up. Obviously from 6th of May 2026 तो 5th of May 2028 तक existing है, उसको खत्म करो. उसके बाद अगर हम बात करें, there are certain limits, there are certain requirements. The first requirement is CDF. I think CDF. So CDF basically means what? So currency declaration form. Currency declaration form की जरूरत कब है? So currency declaration form not required if foreign exchange is up to $10,000, and CDF is not required if the currency notes are up to $5,000. अब इसमें फर्क क्या? सर 10,000 में अगर आपके पास ट्रैवलर चेक्स भी है then only it will be included. अगर आपके पास सिर्फ कैश है तो $5,000 is the limit. Cash payment to resident for foreign exchange purchase can be $1,000 per transaction. Cash payment to visitor or NRI, cash payment to visitor or NRI is up to $3,000 per transaction. मतलब क्या हुआ कि अगर कोई इंडियन रेजिडेंट है, उसको कैश पेमेंट चाहिए, कैश पेमेंट टू रेजिडेंट फॉर फॉरेक्स रिजर्व्स. अगर आप कैश पे कर रहे हैं then you can buy up to $1,000 only. If you're a foreign resident, you can buy up to $3,000 through cash. Payment through banking channel is need to be done if you're making a payment of more than 50,000, and if the payment is below 50,000, then banking channel is not required. You can convert the reconversion to foreign tourist. If I talk about the reconversion to the foreign tourist of the currency, that is allowed up to 50,000 rupees. Franchise surrender will be done. Franchisee surrender of currency will be done within the 7 working days. There is a term that is write off fake notes. So write off fake notes allowed us $2,000 per financial year. Physical cash movement limit is 10 lakh rupees. Physical foreign exchange movement limit is $100,000. Exchange rates will be displayed by the banks. on their websites, on their websites as well as in their branches by 10:30 a.m. daily. Departure for reconversion facility. The departure for reconversion facility should be enjoyed within 7 days, and foreign exchange notes which are sold by full-fledged money changer, full-fledged money changer, that should be greater than or equals to 75% of notes purchased. That should be greater than or equal to 75% of notes purchased. तो जितने आपने notes purchase किए उसका 75% या उससे ज्यादा हिस्सा आपको exchange करना पड़ेगा full fledged money changer पे. That is a condition. ठीक है जी, क्लियर होगी सारी स्टोरी. अब पढ़ते हैं. RBI has prohibited entering into fresh franchisee arrangement for restricted money changing activities. True. Existing franchise arrangement. अच्छा आप पढ़ो एक बार. You go through with the question and give me the answer. Guys, you go through with the question and give me the answer. चलो मैं दूं इसका क्वेश्चन का आंसर. तो अगला पॉइंट क्या है? करेंसी डिक्लेरेशन फॉर्म इज रिक्वायर्ड इफ द फॉरेन एक्सचेंज ब्रॉट इनटू इंडिया is greater than $10,000. That is correct. Full-fledged money changer can write off fake foreign currency notes up to $2,000 per year, not more than that. Maximum limit for physical movement of Indian currency during election period is 10 lakh rupees. That is correct. तो ये भी ठीक हो गया, ये भी ठीक नहीं, ये गलत हो गया, ये ठीक, ये ठीक. तो 1 2 3 5. तो इसका आंसर क्या बनेगा सर? बी ऑप्शन इज द करेक्ट आंसर. ठीक है जी, ठीक है, डन हो गया. चलो अगला क्वेश्चन देखो. कंसिडर द फॉलोइंग स्टेटमेंट विद रिस्पेक्ट टू द मनी चेंजिंग एक्टिविटीज. अगेन एक और सेम क्वेश्चन ही है क्या? सेम क्वेश्चन है. दिस इज डिफरेंट. This is different. Go with this question. Go with this question. This question is related to the same news, लेकिन उसको मैंने थोड़ा सा अलग प्रेजेंट किया. I have created a new question for this. कुछ और points थे which I wanted to include. So the first point we have is RBI has removed requirement of prior approval for tie-up arrangements between authorized dealer category 1 bank and non-bank remittance. ठीक है, आपने आंसर दिया या नहीं, मैं इसको बताता हूँ क्या है. सर आरबीआई ने रिसेंटली कुछ अनाउंसमेंट्स किए. दैट मीन्स देयर इज नो नीड ऑफ आरबीआई अप्रूवल because the old para 10 has been deleted, where authorized dealer bank can directly enter a tie-up with NBFCs or with they can enter up a tie-up with the non-bank remittance platform. It is applicable on cross-border outward remittance, non-trade current account transactions, websites, mobile apps, online platforms, software interfaces. It is allowed. What is the responsibility of authorized dealer category 1 bank? Sir, it should fully come. It should fulfill the compliance of Foreign Exchange Management Act, KYC compliance, anti-money laundering compliance, customer protection, and cannot transfer responsibility to the third party. Customer के ऊपर क्या क्या disclosure requirements? Customer should receive the details which include name of authorized dealer bank, authorization status, exchange rate, validity period, service charges, total cost, beneficiary amount, delivery timeline, and grievance officer details should be shared with the customer. Invoice requirement में there will be exchange rate breakup की exchange rate क्या है, service charge क्या है, other charges क्या है, amount remitted कितनी है, amount received कितना हुआ, what will be the delivery time, and what is the name of the authorized dealer category bank. Everything will be written. Website disclosure of the authorized dealer bank. Sir, authorized dealer bank should list all the three parties. List of all the three parties should be disclosed on the authorized dealer bank website. Role and responsibility should be disclosed, grievance officer details should be disclosed, as well as data storage policy should be disclosed. What is this bank third party agreement? The third party agreement is basically a services which are need to be covered are written. Data privacy is need to be maintained. Confidentialities need to be maintained. Audit rights are there. Risk management is need to be done. Refund policy is written. FEMA compliances. All these points have been clearly mentioned regarding the contract between the two. So earlier framework has removed. RBI approval is not required. Second is $5,000 transaction limit is removed. $10,000 for education limit is removed. FATF compliant jurisdictions only term has been removed, and annual compliance certificate to RBI requirement is removed. Now it is not mandated. ठीक है जी, clear हो गया point. I hope the entire point is clear. Now let's try to answer this particular question. अच्छा, इसमें एक और point है, that is inoperative foreign currency deposit. So if inactive for 3 years, बैंक should convert them into INR as per RBI website. अगर आपका कोई foreign deposits है और foreign currency deposit अगर inactive है for 3 years, it will be converted into INR. Joint resident account with NRI relative is allowed on either or survivor basis, but account remain as a resident account. कि अगर मान लो मैंने अपने भाई के साथ अकाउंट खुलवाया जो इंडिया के बाहर रह रहा है, it will be considered as resident account only. NRI funds cannot be credited. NRI operates only on the behalf of resident, and on survivor the account will become NRO account, that is non-resident ordinary account. ये कुछ पॉइंट्स है जो मुझे याद आ रहे हैं रिलेटेड टू दिस पर्टिकुलर अनाउंसमेंट. क्वेश्चन सॉल्व करके देखते हैं. RBI has removed the requirement, correct. The remitter funds may pass through third party platform account in India if disclosed to the customer. नहीं सर, ऐसा तो कुछ नहीं है ना, ऐसा तो है ही नहीं. This is wrong. This is not correct. This is wrong. What it actually says, if I talk about this particular point, this point is absolutely wrong. Why this point is absolutely wrong? Because in this particular point, it has been clearly mentioned. That there is no need to remitted funds may pass through the third party platform. नहीं सर, थर्ड पार्टी प्लेटफॉर्म के अकाउंट से तो पैसा पास होगा ही नहीं, सीधा कस्टमर के अकाउंट से बैंक के अकाउंट से सीधा बेनिफिशियरी तक चला जाएगा. Authorized dealer category 1 bank remain fully responsible for FEMA and KYC, correct. If the third party entity is located outside India, it should be appropriately licensed by the regulator in the jurisdiction. बिल्कुल सही है. Earlier framework allowed outward remittance up to $5,000 per transaction, correct. For education it was $10,000, but now all these limits have been removed. This is correct. So keeping that in mind, so B option 1, 3, 4, 5 are correct, but the second statement is wrong क्योंकि third party के account में पैसा नहीं float करेगा. That has been very clearly explained, very clearly mentioned. ठीक है जी. इस क्वेश्चन का आंसर क्या बनेगा? So the answer to this particular question is B option. I guess it is clear to everybody. यहाँ तो कोई दिक्कत, कोई परेशानी? Any problem till now, guys? समझ आ रहा है ना, याद आ रहा है, सब चीजें पढ़ी हुई है. I hope you are able to recall. चलो अगले क्वेश्चन पे बढ़ते हैं. Let's move on to the next question. What does the next question talks about? So the next question is again related to the authorized dealers only. So let's discuss that question. Consider the following statement regarding the reporting instruction for authorized dealer category 1 bank on INR derivative contracts. So ये पूरी न्यूज क्या है? अगर मैं इस पूरी मामले को समझूं, पूरा मामला क्या कहता है? Sir, RBI has expanded the reporting requirement for authorized dealer category 1 banks regarding the over-the-counter foreign exchange derivative contracts which involve INR. Banks earlier, अगर मैं सिचुएशन की बात करूं तो banks reported their own over-the-counter foreign exchange derivative contracts undertaken through their overseas entities, but now banks must additionally report not only by their overseas entity, but also by their related parties, whether in India or outside India. तो जो भी आपके बैंक के related parties हैं, if they are getting into an over the counter Indian rupee derivative, foreign exchange, or I would say over the counter foreign exchange derivative contract involving INR, then bank should report about their related parties, whether they are in India or overseas. They should also talk about, or it should also report both deliverable as well as non-deliverable contracts. What will be the reporting platform? Undoubtedly the clearinghouse, that is CCIL, trade repository. And there are certain exclusions. Exclusions are bank to bank transactions. They are already reported, no need to report again. Transaction with another authorized dealer category 1 bank in India, not required because it is already reported by the authorized dealer category 1 bank. Third is no reporting is required. No reporting is required if the notional value is up to $1 million. No reporting is required if the notional value is up to $1 million. इसको implement किया जा रहा है in phased manner. From 1st July 2027, 100% parent company contract plus 70% of the other party notional value. 1st January 2028, 80% of the other party notional value. And from 1st July 2028, it should be 100% reporting of all the related party contracts. Is this clear? Reporting timeline is ideally same day. नहीं हो पा रहा तो maximum within 2 working days the reporting is need to be done. This has been announced. So authorized dealer category 1 bank must report over the counter foreign exchange derivative contracts involving INR undertaken by their related parties globally. Correct. Reporting requirement covers both deliverable and non-deliverable derivative contracts. Correct. Transactions are entered into by related parties. Transactions are entered into by related parties with another authorized dealer category 1 bank in India are exempted from additional reporting. That is correct. क्योंकि जब बैंक नहीं कर दिया तो आपकी रिपोर्टिंग की जरूरत नहीं है. Bank may choose not to report contracts with notional value of $1 million or less. That is correct. Full reporting coverage of all the related party contracts will be done from 1st July 2028. 1st July 2027 से 100% parent company and 70% related party. 1st January 2028, 80% of the related party wala part, and 1st July 2028 say 100% of the related parties as well. So keeping that in mind, B option 1, 2, 3, 4 are the correct answers. 1, 2, 3, 4 are the correct answers. Is it clear, everybody? Is it clear, everybody? So let's move on to the next question. Let's check it out. What is the next question we have? The next question which I have for you all is, it is related to the authorized persons which are involved in the foreign exchange. For that particular format, we have one more question related to the same. Maza aayega. The moment you'll see that question, you will enjoy for sure. Just give me a second. चलो क्वेश्चन देखते क्या है. So the question says, following foreign exchange management authorized person regulation 2026, authorized dealer category 2 applicant must maintain minimum net worth. तो इस पे क्वेश्चन है. अगर आपको याद हो, we have studied this direction. So what is this direction all about? Sir, RBI has issued the foreign exchange. RBI has issued the foreign exchange management transaction management amendments or directions for the authorized persons, which is implemented from 30th of September 2026, which include authorized dealers for full-fledged money changers, foreign exchange correspondents, as well as it has all the norms related to authorization, renewal, as well as supervision. Now, first is who can act as authorized dealer category 1. Sir, only the bank can act as authorized dealer category 1. Who can act as category 2? Sir, RBI licensed bank, or maybe RBI registered NBFC, or maybe foreign full-fledged money changer, or maybe forex correspondents with minimum 2 years of operation and average turnover of 50 crores during the 2 financial year is allowed to be category 2. Category 3 is entity needed forex for business operations or innovative forex products. That is bare minimum required. So what are the net worth requirements? Authorized dealer category 2 net worth requirement is 10 crores. Authorized dealer category 3 net worth requirement is 2 crores. For full-fledged money changer, single branch requirement is 25 lakhs. Full-fledged money changer, multiple branch requirement is 50 lakhs. Requirement is 50 lakhs. ठीक है? Proper fit and proper requirement is need to be fulfilled. Promoters, directors, and key managerial personnel, they must be fit and proper. At least 50% of the directors or key managerial positions must possess financial sector qualification experience, as well as if under investigation by Directorate of Enforcement, then a recent NOC is also required. Then if I talk about the permitted activities, authorized dealer category 1 is allowed for all the FEMA permitted activities, current account as well as capital account. Authorized dealer category 2 is permitted for non-trade current account transactions, excluding gift and donations. Trade transaction in case of category 2 can be up to 25 lakhs. Can be up to 25 lakhs. So authorized dealer category 2 entities can undertake a foreign trade transaction up to 25 lakhs. That is correct. Authorized dealer category 3, only activities which are mentioned in their authorization letter will be done. FFMC, that is full-fledged money changer, they can buy foreign currency notes and traveler's check. They can sell foreign exchange for foreign travel. They can even act as an agent under MTSS. ठीक है जी. Non-bank authorized person, they must start operation within 6 months. Prior RBI approval required for change in management, control, or ownership exceeding 50%, but now the approval is not required. These are the major changes which have been done. Reporting is need to be done within 30 days. Director or KMP, director or directorate, or I would say director or KMP change, that is key manager position change, should be reported within 30 days. If there is a investigation by, or if you are under the investigation by Directorate of Investment, you should be Directorate of Enforcement, you should again inform within 30 days. If you're setting up a new branch or changing the location, you need to inform RBI within 7 days. Net worth deficiency must be restored within 6 months, otherwise your license will be cancelled. ठीक है जी, क्लियर हो गया पॉइंट? आई होप एवरीथिंग इज क्लियर. अब अगर मैं बात करूं फॉरेन एक्सचेंज कॉरेस्पॉन्डेंट की, तो दे कैन बाय फॉरेन करेंसी, दे कैन सेल फॉरेन करेंसी, दे एक्ट एज MTSS सब एजेंट, they may work for multiple principals. All the transaction recorded in the principal's book. Principal responsible for compliance. Quarterly reporting is need to be done. Reporting timelines are 15 days from the end of each quarter. Once the quarter complete, within 15 days you have to report. फ्रेंचाइज मॉडल खत्म कर दिया, 2 साल का टाइम है, रैप अप करो और चले जाओ. कन्वर्ट करना तो अपने आप को एज अ कॉरेस्पॉन्डेंट कन्वर्ट कर लो. ठीक है जी, क्लियर हो गई बात. हाँ, अपील की बात करें सर, अपील विल बी डन विद इन 45 days. RBI डिस्पोजल ऑफ अपील विद इन 60 days. दैट इज ऑल्सो करेक्ट. चलो, existing franchisee arrangement must be discontinued within 2 years. That is correct. An appeal against rejection of authorization must be filed within 45 days, and disposal should be done by RBI within 60 days. So that is wrong. 50% of directors and key managerial personals must possess qualification or experience in the financial sector. That is correct. So 1, 2, 3, and 5. That means B option is the correct answer. That means B option is the correct answer. ठीक है जी, क्लियर हो गया पॉइंट? क्लियर हो गया. Let's move on to the next news. The next news is again related to that pension news. I have come up with a question related to the agency bank. I hope you'll like it. I hope you'll enjoy it. मैं चाहता हूँ कि वो चीज़ें आपके दिमाग में बैठ जाए, ताकि अगर क्वेश्चन एग्जाम में आए, you should be in a position to answer it. तो आओ जरा क्वेश्चन देखते हैं क्या है. If we talk about the question says agency bank receive 40 rupees per physical government receipt transaction. तो मैं अगर इसके transaction charges आपको जल्दी से बताऊं, तो जो कमीशन मिलता है आपके एजेंट बैंक को, दैट इज 40 रुपीज फॉर रिसीट, फिजिकल रिसीट, इलेक्ट्रॉनिक के लिए 12 रुपए, पेंशन पेमेंट 80 रुपीज, अदर पेमेंट 7 पैसा पर 100 रुपीज. Pension commission rule is full pension processing is needed. Maximum 14 transactions can be done per year. In case of shared work, 75-25 split will be there, and areas will be counted as one of the transaction. Claim submission within 60 days. Claim submission within 60 days. Either this claim submission will be filed. In case of central government, it will be filed to central account, or I would say CAS Nagpur, and if it is a state government, then it will be filed with the RBI regional office. Claim कौन फाइल करेगा? बैंक. भैया मैंने ये काम किया है सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट के लिए, तो CAS नागपुर के पास जाओ, और अगर स्टेट के लिए किया तो रीजनल ऑफिस के पास जाओ. पेनल्टी, अगर आपने रॉन्ग क्लेम एज अ बैंक फाइल किया, then there will be a penalty, that is bank rate plus 2%. There will be a penalty, that is bank rate plus 2%. अगर कोई बैंक अंडर PCA कैटेगरी में है, then that bank is not eligible to act as not eligible to act as एजेंट बैंक. ठीक है. रिपोर्टिंग डेडलाइंस की अगर मैं बात करूं, GST, कस्टम, सेंट्रल एक्साइज एंड टिन 2.0 टैक्सेस, अपलोडिंग शुड बी डन or upload transaction files by 6 p.m. No extension permitted. State government transactions, there should be monthly balance transfer, and monthly balance transfer date is 5th of the next month. Central government transactions reporting after 90 days require ministry or department approval. ठीक है जी, क्लियर हो गया. मोटी मोटी यही बात है. क्वेश्चन को देखते हैं क्या कहता है. तो इलेक्ट्रॉनिक के लिए 1280, ये भी ठीक है. Agency commission claims must normally be submitted within 60 calendar days from the end of relevant quarter. Wrong commission will attract bank rate plus 2%. That is correct. तो इसके हिसाब से अगर हम देखें, sir, all the statements are correct. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. All the statements are absolutely correct. बहुत बढ़िया. चलो जी, अगले क्वेश्चन पे बढ़ते हैं. Let's move on to the next question. अगला क्वेश्चन किससे रिलेटेड है? So the next question is related to NBFC. Which all NBFCs they do not require RBI registration, or they can even submit their certificate of registration with RBI, in what all cases? So we will be discussing about them in this particular session. So let's talk about that question. An unregistered type 1 NBFC must not use public funds and must not have customer interactions. That is correct. That is correct. तभी आप unregistered हो सकते हो, that otherwise you are not allowed. NBFC with asset size below 1000 crore are automatically exempted from all RBI supervision. नहीं सर, RBI supervision से थोड़ा ना आप exempt हो रहे हो. आपको वो registration certificate, वो net owned fund, वो basic conditions वो follow करने की जरूरत नहीं है, लेकिन RBI आपको कभी भी challenge कर सकता है. ठीक है. Indirect public funds include funds routed through group companies having access to the public funds. That is correct. Indirect public funds में क्या इंक्लूड होगा? सर इट विल बी, अगर पैसा आपकी ग्रुप कंपनी से आ रहा है और ग्रुप कंपनी के पास पैसा पब्लिक है, अगर ऐसी ट्रांजेक्शन होगी, देन यू कैन नॉट बी अनरजिस्टर्ड. दैट इज करेक्ट. Existing eligible NBFC may apply for deregistration on or before 31st of December 2026, correct. An unregistered type 1 NBFC intending to enter overseas financial service sector investment must obtain RBI registration and approval. लेकिन आप, you are not allowed to open up an office. You will be setting up basically the office for search basis, for research basis, or for day-to-day observations, but you cannot provide any kind of financial transactions from that office. So answer is going to be 1, 3, 4, 5. That is the B option. ठीक है जी. कोई पूछ रहा था सर कितने क्वेश्चन बचे, तो मैं उनको बता दूं, लास्ट क्वेश्चन है. दिस इज द लास्ट क्वेश्चन वी हैव. प्लीज पे अटेंशन. आखिरी क्वेश्चन है. लगभग 16, शायद 16 सर्कुलर्स थे, और उसके अलावा 3 रिपोर्ट्स हैं जो आरबीआई ने पब्लिश किए. तो रिपोर्ट्स का डेटा तो ऑब्वियसली मैंने नहीं आज लिया, वो दैट वी विल बी इंक्लूडिंग टुमारो. लेकिन जो उसके अलावा जितना भी पार्ट था, दैट हैज बीन डिस्कस्ड इन दिस पर्टिकुलर सेशन. ठीक है जी. तो लास्ट क्वेश्चन ऑफ द इवनिंग इज नाउ ऑन योर स्क्रीन. क्वेश्चन देखते हैं क्या कहता है. सर ये एनबीएफसीज की जो अमेंडमेंट्स हैं, दैट विल कम इन फोर्स फ्रॉम 1st of July 2026. दैट इज करेक्ट. An unregistered type 1 NBFC can use public funds provided if asset size remains below 1000 crores. That is correct. Existing and eligible NBFCs may apply for deregistration. ये गलत है. An unregistered type 1 NBFC cannot use public funds. This is wrong. Existing eligible NBFC may apply for deregistration through Prava portal. Correct. Asset size of similar NBFC with a group must be aggregated for determining the 1000 crore threshold. बिल्कुल सर, अगर group of NBFCs है तो उसमें आपको group size लेना होगा. That should be up to 1000 crores. Unregistered NBFC must pass an annual board resolution confirming that it continues to operate without public funds. That is also correct. So keeping that in mind, 1, 3, 4, 5, that means B option is the correct answer. ठीक है जी, समझ आ गया point. I hope each and every point is clear. मजा आया होगा. आज आप रिवाइज करके आए थे. That was the reason you have enjoyed the session. That was the reason that you have answered so many questions. If you have enjoyed, do let me know in the comment section. If you haven't hit the like button yet, do hit the like button. If you haven't shared the session yet, do inform your friends कि भैया अगर मई मंथ के जल्दी से सर्कुलर रिवाइज कर रहे हैं. जल्दी से क्यों? क्योंकि अभी तो डिटेल में पढ़ाए हैं. अगर जल्दी से सर्कुलर रिवाइज कर रहे हैं तो माधव सर की क्लास हो चुकी है, जाके देख लो. रिकॉर्डिंग देखनी है रिकॉर्डिंग देख लो, लाइव नहीं देख पाए तो कोई बात नहीं. ठीक है, डन है जी. चलो, दैट विल बी ऑल फ्रॉम माय साइड गाइस. विल कैच यू इन द अपकमिंग सेशंस. टू गो, गुड लक. God bless you all, and you can download the PDF from the Telegram channel. Scan the QR code to join the Telegram channel. यार मैंने इसीलिए नहीं दिया आयुष, बिकॉज अभी कराए हैं ये, और अभी कराए हैं तो इसको आपने बहुत डिटेल में पढ़ा होगा. उसका भी मैं सर दे दूं अगर माइंड में, उसका क्या फायदा. इन्हें तो डिटेल में पढ़ना ही पड़ेगा, इसलिए मैंने एक एक खुद मैं ऑब्वियसली रिवाइज करके भी आया था, और रिवाइज करने के बाद मैंने खुद बहुत सारी इंफॉर्मेशन आपको वर्बली दी है, और उसी इंफॉर्मेशन को एक दो बार आपको दोबारा अपनी PDF से पढ़ना है. मैं तो बना दूंगा यार, मेरे खुद तो बनाने नहीं होते माइंड मैप्स. मैं तो बस डेटा देता हूँ, उस डेटा को थोड़ा शॉर्ट मुझे करना पड़ता है. काम तो सारा AI करता है, वो बनाने का, वो ग्लोरीफाई करने का, वो सुंदर दिखाने का. बट मुझे लगता है उसका कोई मतलब नहीं है. मतलब होता मैं दे देता, मतलब नहीं है. रिक्वायरमेंट है, इसको ढंग से पढ़ो. क्वेश्चंस आएंगे यहाँ से, गलती मत कर लेना. ठीक है जी, डन है. ओके, थैंक यू. कैच यू इन द नेक्स्ट क्लास. बाय बाय, टेक केयर, गुड लक, सी यू सून.